philosophy was to learn how to let go. And I work on it every day. And you're not going to be, even if your income is at a certain point, that doesn't mean you're successful. It's how you're spending your time. Are you doing it how you want to do it? Are you emotionally free? Now, you could earn income just because you have great value, but you could be not happy if you haven't let go. So we have to really become a master at letting go. Really a master, and it takes trust and decision. Because you won't master letting go if you haven't made a decision that I'm going to be emotionally free. So you want to take a look at it. So Ricardo, do you got everything ready? I'm just kidding with you. Last night at dinner, I told him I was going to have him present. So, yeah. Yeah. Not quite yet. All right. I just want to go over a couple concepts that are super important before I put you in groups. Okay? And I want to remind you of the 80-20 principle. This will change the game if you prioritize this. If we doubled our time on the top 20% of activities, that's what I want to get in your mind. What are the top 20? What are the top 20? What are the top 20? You could work a 2-day work week and achieve 60% more. So I want your obsession to be, what is my top 20 when you're putting your plan of attack together, okay? Now, remember, the goal has to be as big as a billboard. When it is so big in your mind, it's always in your face. It is always in your face. Now, you know what's interesting? I will never forget Kathy's goal now. I'll never forget it, ever. So I hold the image that Kathy's already achieved it. So when you're working with the goal, or you're working with your team, you already see them achieve their goal. That's why we have to know what they want. But I want you to embrace the goal. I hope it's impossible in your mind at first. And then we're going to make the impossible possible. But if you lower your standard and start setting goals that you really don't want, you're going to get busy being busy. 2xing, there's millions of ways you could 2x. I'm just going to work harder. I'm going to work harder. So when we're 10xing our emotional state, when we're 10xing our confidence, when we're 10xing our comfort, meaning I'm comfortable in any room I walk in, what's going to happen is you're going to create 10x results. And there's only a few strategies to really create 10x results. So I didn't say there's 1,000. That's why we got to lock in on elimination. I really want you guys, when I put you guys in the group, I want you to commit on the next 90 days. What are the 3 things you're going to eliminate? And then what are your top 20% of activities? And in those top 20% of activities, we do those top 20% in our 30, 45, 60, 90-minute sprints throughout the day. Now, what's going to happen is when you make the goal impossible, your past self dies off. Only if you've owned that identity. It is done. If you haven't owned it, it's going to keep creeping in, and you haven't disciplined your want, it's going to keep waning. It's going to keep waning. So, but when you've disciplined your want, you've disciplined your decision, you've disciplined your courage together, it's going to change the game. It'll change the game for you, okay? Now, in the beginning, I love when people teach effortless, like it's effortless from the beginning. It's never effortless from the beginning. Ever. There's no time that I created anything new that was effortless in the beginning. In the beginning, it's hard. In the middle, it's super cloudy. Is this really going to happen? And then at the end, it becomes effortless. So that's why we've got to keep the study of neuroplasticity in our mind, that it takes 66 days.
Quick testimonial to this is, you mentioned it earlier, leadership for me felt so hard before. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know how to do it. How do you have a team? And now working with you so closely, like I still have to stay on top of it and get better, but it's enjoyable. It's not so hard. It's a complete shift in
Oh,
how I view it.
Well, you've changed completely towards it, but your attitude has changed, and you've put in the repetition, you put in the reps to get so much better. And you're going to be you're the worst leader you're ever going to be today. It's going to keep getting better. It's going to keep getting better. So, but we have to start embracing leverage. Leverage the 80%. So just because I said you have to let go of 80%, those still may be things that need to be done towards your goal, but you don't have to be the ones to do it. Now, what I've noticed is people have the hardest time understanding the importance of leverage. They love the idea, but they don't trust. So the only way you're going to work on your next 20% is if part of your 80% is essential, we have to give it to somebody else to do. We have to give it to somebody else to do. Like anybody who knows me, my whole life is leveraged. I literally don't do anything. I swear to you, I literally don't do much. I mean, if they're, like, I don't even check email. Like, I don't like email. And, yeah. So, like admin, I don't do. I made a rule for myself that if I don't want to do it, I don't do it. You know, if you came to my house, there's nothing I do around my house. Like, we have pool people. We have people who do lawn. Like, I really don't. That's just part, and that's been forever, you know. And I started it when I didn't have any money. The first thing we did was we hired somebody to clean around our house. You know, even when I didn't have it, I knew that was important because I didn't think that was a good use of my wife's time. You know, and she hated doing it, so why should I not do stuff I don't like doing and have her do stuff she doesn't like doing? So even when you're not ready, start it with one leverage at a time. And if you are a business owner and you do not have an assistant, you are making a big mistake. The first thing you have to do is get a great assistant. It will leverage, and once you train them properly and lead them properly, they're going to be your greatest asset. So we want to start understanding, leverage the areas of your business and life that no longer fuel your soul. That no longer fuel your soul. Like Fabian, for you, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking, is the dental practice yours or do you work for somebody?
I work for somebody.
You work for somebody. Okay. If it was your own, I would say find somebody else that can do what you do. So, but when we leverage the areas of our business that no longer fuel our soul, you're going to focus on what you love doing in your business. And that's where I want you to put this so ironclad. And you're able to creatively think about ways to grow your business. Most business owners are always working in their business. They don't spend time working on their business. So you want to make it in your calendar an hour a day that I'm working on growing my business. I'm working on ideas how to grow my business. And number 3, focus with, it's got to be locked in with working on it. Got to work on it. Now, you may be working for somebody, but I want you to start seeing yourself as the CEO of your business. Because your job, you're the CEO of that role. And when you start seeing it, you're going to grow into an entrepreneur if that's what you want. So we have to have a great attitude towards leverage. If you have a great attitude towards leverage, you're going to lean into leverage. You're going to lean into it. So, but what if I told you if you don't have leverage, you're never going to create wealth? It's impossible. You're going to be all things to your business. You're going to be all things all the time. And so we have to really accept this idea, but don't leverage everything at once. Until you get really good at it, start with one thing. And then once you get one thing, add another. Instead of adding everything at once, because it's going to overwhelm you and create anxiety overload. Now, whatever grows you, you say yes to. Whatever contracts you, you say no to. It's very simple. Like, make it so easy for yourself. Make it so simple and easy. Now, I'm going to show you a daily winning process. I'm going to show you 2 processes that changed the game for me. and I want to teach it to you. This is for the day. So you start your day after you do your morning routine. You say, do I have an authentic want today? An authentic want is, this is what I'm going to achieve today for my daily goal. And the want is going to demand an irrevocable committed decision. So if you're in sales, like let's say Carlos says today, I'm going to sell 2 new clients. I'm going to get 2 new contracts today. So he says, that is my want. I'm making a decision. I am going to get 2 new contracts today. So he's made the committed decision. Now he knows this is going to demand courage. So when I have to do something, I don't want to do it, I'm still going to do it. I'm going to get out of my comfort zone. I'm going to call my great clients and ask if they have referrals. That's going to be courage. The courage is then going to create confidence. Because when we get out of our comfort zone, what happens is we gain self-respect. The confidence then is going to create discipline. And once it's discipline, the discipline automatically gets you into action. It automatically gets you into action, and the action creates the results. But here's what the problem is. People are going through their days, and they don't know what they want. They're just going on autopilot. They're living a rat race. They're doing the same thing over and over again. So we have to get really good at following this daily process. If you just follow this daily process, you're going to win every day. Even when the results aren't there, you're going to have the courage to not be attached. So it starts with a want. Every day is day 1 with decision. The decision is going to demand courage, so you're going to walk in and say, I'm going to do hard really well today. It's going to be as hard or as easy as I make it, but I'm going to show up with a significant amount of courage. The courage is going to create the confidence. The confidence creates the discipline creates the action creates the results. Sure.
And how much of this process, Arash, do you do first thing in the morning versus the night before?
I do this actually 3 times a day. So for me, like I said earlier this morning, my daily goal means so much to me. Like I put everything into the day. So I do it, I have an alarm. I use a lot of alarms. So I have it at 7 a.m. because I don't want it to interrupt my morning routine. But I have it at 7 a.m., I have it at 1 p.m., and then I do this with the power of 5 at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, I'll do my power of 5, and I'll observe myself neutrally. Then I come, did I have an authentic want? Did I make an irrevocable committed decision? And where did I lose my irrevocable committed decision? So I like rehearsing my day and finding, did I go into scarcity at any point? Did I get distracted at any point? Did I operate with courage? I don't have a challenge with courage. Like I built courage as a part of my identity. So every time I get uncomfortable, that means I have to do it right away. I have to do it right away. So this is something I work on. I sent this to Monica because I was doing this. And I'm like, can you create a slide for me with this? Because I could teach it to everybody because I deconstruct, like how I create all my processes, I deconstruct what I did to win. So I created this for my team, and then I've taught it to some of my clients. But if you do this every day, you're going to bulletproof yourself. Now, I have another process for you. If you want to create freedom, this is what's going to create freedom. Now, this is a long-term process. This is not a short-term process. This is a process with consistency. First of all, if we want abundance, abundance is everywhere. But I have to be bold, but I have to understand abundance is about creating a bigger and better future for myself. Now, my want, I have that authentic want that is driving me with discipline with no justification. No justification, okay? It's going to demand that I'm not a victim, I'm a leader. So I have extreme ownership that I am the only problem I'm going to ever have. Like, Ryan's never going to be my problem. Carlos is never going to be my problem. I'm the only problem I'm going to ever have. So once I do that, I'm giving myself power. And then I know I take action every day with swagger. You do it for 30 days, you're going to see action is going to be a part of your identity. And then I let go, so I think without effort. I'm always thinking without effort. The minute thinking becomes such strong effort, I'm coming from attachment. I know that. So I'm completely letting go is a part of my foundation. Everything I do, I let go. Everything I do. And I'm hyper intentional. I'm always hyper intentional. Joe, what if I challenged you right now for the next 30 days that you're going to be hyper intentional every hour? Imagine what that would do. Every hour, you set an intention. So when you're taking your breaks, you set an intention, I'm doing nothing. Like I've trained myself every hour because intention was it did so much for me. But we have to make it a habit to become hyper intentional. Most people are unconsciously intentional. They have an intention and their intention is, I want to play it safe, or let's avoid what's the worst that can happen. So, if we create hyper intention as part of it, you're going to create freedom. But remember, 10xing your life is always about amazing energy when you have a lot of juice, when you're on fire. It's not about heavy energy. It's not about overthinking. So all of that leads into the power of 5, that every decision I make from my future self. Every attitude is from my future self. Every discipline is from my future self. Every standard is from my future self. And I think, feel, and act from that. Now, you stack this and you say, I'm going to follow this process for the next 12 months. You're not going to create freedom overnight. And you have to pay the price for freedom, and that price is discipline. That price is following this process, and the power of 5 is going to lead to world-class freedom. You would be amazed if you did this for 12 months, where it will take you. Where it will take you. So if you just have on your notes, if you go back and just write it exactly how I created it, and this is your accountability partner, that's going to be a great accountability partner for you, don't you think? Yeah. And all you do is, at the end of the day, just go ask yourself these questions. Did I do it? I have a lot of clients that are great clients of mine that have done wonderful things, but they forget about the power of 5. They forget about it. The power of 5 you can't forget about. It is your best antidote so you don't drift. But you don't judge it. Like, let's say Kim said to me, Arash, my attitude wasn't right today. So I'd say, Kim, bulletproof it tomorrow so we're even more intentional tomorrow that I'm going to have a better attitude. Okay? Let's say Kim's story was controlling her. Something in her past was controlling her. So what do? We say, I'm going to make part of my standard that I'm walking into my new story, not my old story. Right? So you use it for you, and in the beginning it's going to be hard because you're going to have to actually discipline yourself to make this a part of you. But then in 60, 30 days, 2 weeks, it gets easier and easier. I remember when I first started waking up at 5 in the morning. This was years ago. I hated it. I was like, oh gosh. And then I connected a reward to it. I said, I'm not going to get my coffee until I hit my morning routine. So I said, I have to earn my coffee. Like, I love getting a nitro with sweet cream in the morning. Like, that is like one of my things. So I was like, I have to earn it. Well, in 2 weeks, I loved it because it changed my self-esteem so much. And this was probably 5, 6 years ago. But I hated it. But everything good in my life, I hated it first. Like it was hard. But I knew it was valuable. So when you do the hard things in a great way, you're going to be rewarded in a great way. Okay? And so those are just 2 processes that I encourage you to test for yourself. Don't believe me that they work. Test it. Try to prove me wrong. I guarantee they'll work. But no matter what I tell you, you have to test it for yourself. So I can show you it, but if you don't do it, it's not going to work. But if you test it, make it like a game. I'm going to follow what this dude is telling me until I don't believe him. Like, you can't not believe me until you do it yourself, right? So those are some things to get you guys started. We're going to give you time. I'd like you to do the same thing. Get in your groups. But this is what I want in the groups. Start with the elimination because you've already been working on it. And then commit in your notes, these are what I'm committed to eliminate. Okay? And then I want you to sign it. I want you to sign. When we sign it, it creates a deeper commitment. Then I want you to write out what your top 20% are. What are those top 20% of the activities that I'm committing to? And then I want you to sign that. But then ask people for their feedback. Say, this is my goal. Do you think there's a better idea that you may see that I don't see? But if you really love it, then keep it. But everybody comes in this neutral. Nobody judges anybody's things. You could say, let's say I told Jan, I said, Jan, I think you're already that based on what you've told me. I don't think that would be your top 20%. So then Jan could be like, you're right. So let's really take time to dig deep in this exercise. Because I want you leaving with exactly what you're going to do, going home. All right.